Alright, in today's class we're going to talk about a pie chart. Pie chart is a very important portion for your writing task 1. First, and foremost, introduction. Let's start with the introduction. Introduction will be your first point for writing the pie chart. Let me help you in the way so that you can implement it any pie chart out there. First and foremost, generally you will going to get a number of pie chart in your IELTS writing task 1. There can be very few time you're going to get like just one pie chart. Generally there will be 2, but sometimes you can get 3, 4, 5, 6, not more than that. Don't worry about it. Just 2 most of the time, but sometimes you can get like 3, 4. Why? It is important just to change your introduction. Generally it is very difficult for the student to change the introduction. See, let me help you in the easiest way possible. So the pie charts, can you change it? No, right? You can't really write pie chart, line chart, right? You can't write that. So you need to write the pie charts. You have no way to change. But here you can say the 2 pie charts, the 3 pie charts, 4 pie charts, right? How many is there? Like here, for here it will be 2 pie charts. If there is 3 pie charts. Okay, clear? So you just count the how many charts are there and write it. Small change, still a change. You don't need to change the word below. Instead of shows you can use 2 words. Actually use 3, 4, 5 words, but I suggest illustrates should be 1 word. Illustrates, TRATES, and then another word can be depicts. So these are the 2 words you can use. You can really use describes, right? You can use also that. Then the comparison. So instead of comparison, 1 word you can say differences, another one word you can say differentiation. Okay, so the 2, 3, 4 pie charts illustrates the differentiation. Okay, differentiation. If you don't know the spelling of it, is very easy. Different, DIFFER, differ, N-E-N, different. See, T-I-A, differentiation, T-I-O-N. Okay, nice one. Differentiation. So the 2 pie charts illustrates the differentiation of different kinds of. So instead of saying different kinds of, you can say various kinds of, types of. Okay, change. Energy, I really don't recommend you to change the main word of the question. Don't change it. Energy, right? So in the whole question, in the whole writing of your writing task 1, for this question you're going to talk about energy. Don't try to use the synonym for this word, for this specific word. So whenever you're gonna do the writing task 1, you will get the main word for any question, and don't try to change that. I don't recommend that, because if you change it, then if you don't change it in the exact way, because can you really get the exact synonym of energy? Not really, right? Not really. So don't try to change that word. Okay. Production, you can use the generation. Instead of production, you can use the word generation. Generation of France. See, instead of saying of France, you can say this is one particular year, right? One particular country. So you can say energy generation of a particular, or individual, right? Or of a particular or individual country called, of a particular country or individual nation called, country or nation called France. For 2 years, right? For, if you use particular for 2 specific, right? For 2 specific years, because in pie chart, you see, in pie chart you don't really get the chance to write the period, because here in pie chart they're not really talking about the period, rather they are talking about 2 specific year, 1995 and 2005. We don't have the data for 2000, right? In between you don't have that. You just have the data for 2 different, to specific, to particular year, 1995 and 2005. So that's your introduction. Let me tell you again, the 2, 3 or 4, whatever you get, to the pie charts, then illustrates or depicts any word. The comparison, instead of saying the comparison, you can say differences. You can say a differentiation, right, of various types of, don't change it, energy generation of a particular nation or country called France for 2 specific years. If you want to mention the years, put a bracket and write 1995 and 2005. That's your intro. Okay, so here is your total intro. The two pie charts illustrates or depicts whatever you want to use, but if you use charts here, don't just use depict. Okay, don't use the S. The differentiation or differences of various types of energy generation instead of production generation of a particular country or nation, whatever the word you want to use, just use it for 2 specific years, because there are 2 years, and put a full stop after that. Nice, a fantastic introduction. Use it for any. All right, okay, let's move and try out overall now. So now we're going to talk about overall. Before you write down the overall, you need to know what the overall is. Overall is your key feature, important features. Okay, so you need to write your important features. So what is your important feature for a pie chart? Because in the line graph, the data are not really accurate enough, right? Data are not accurate enough, data are not exact enough. But pie chart table data are very exact. So you need to write in a little bit different way. But what can you get in all the pie chart? One thing you'll always get in all the pie chart. Number 1 is increase. You'll always get some increase positions. You'll get some increasing criteria out there. Some data will going to increase. Some data will going to decrease. So increase and decrease. That's the first thing you're going to get any pie chart. Like here, coal 29, 30 increasing. Other 4, 9 increasing. A nuclear 6, then 10 increase. Petro 29, 10, 19 decrease. Gas 29, then 30 increase. See, if you look into another pie chart, you'll see the same thing. Even the 3. Let's say in 1981 insurance was 2. Then in 1991 it became 3. So increase. From 3 it became 8. Means it increased all the way. Teacher's salary 40 became 50. Increase first. Then from 50 it became 45. So first increase, then decrease. Furniture and equipment, it was 15, then became 5. It decreased first, and then from 5 to 23, then increase again. So decrease and then increase. Resources, books 15 and then 20. So increase first. From 20 it became a 9. Decrease. So increase and then decrease. Other worker salaries 28, and then it became a 22. So it decreased first, right? It decreased first, it decreased, and then from 22 it became 15. Okay, so it decreased again, all the way decrease. Insurance all the way increase. Other worker salaries all the way decrease. All other portion increase and decrease. So one thing is mandatory for any kind of pie chart is you will always get some increase and decrease. That's number 1. Number 2, you want to learn the sentence with this? No. Number 2, let's learn the second thing. You need to identify top value and the lowest value. In all the pie chart, you'll always get one top value, a value which is more than all others, lowest value which is lower than all others. So that is also a key feature for you. Like here, coal, right? Here coal is the top value because this is more than any value out there, and then lowest should be other, right? 4.9. Like the other graph, if you look for which one is the top value. Am I making any mistakes? If I not, then teacher salaries, right? This is the top value, more than any other values here. And the lowest insurance, right? So any pie chart you will going to get, you will always gonna notice that. Increase, decrease, and then top value and the lowest value. This is what you need to write in your overall. You need to write maybe one more sentence to get a fantastic score, but let's learn this first and then we're going to move forward. So now I'm going to suggest you one sentence. You can just follow that and put the words there. If you don't want to follow that, you can just write by yourself. But remember, you need to write about increase, decrease, and then top value as well. First, let's talk about increase, decrease sentence. Like here, we can see except Petro, all other values increased, right? So you can write overall. So use the word with the overall. Use the overall with the word overall, so the teacher will understand, okay, this is the student will going to give me overall now. Almost all the energy, gas, coal, and nuclear other was accelerated, means increased in 2005, while Petro abated, means decreased in the same time. So why I am suggesting this sentence, there is a reason for that. Let me tell you. It's because almost all the energy, gas, coal was accelerated. This is a passive voice, a good sentence to use. And then we used while, means complex, right? Petravid. So used different structures in just one sentence. Also we have used some good word like accelerated, abated, right? These are good word. These are not. If you use like increase, if you use increase, increase means it is not less common. And then if you use like decrease, this is not less common. Less common words are important for our good score. If you go and find out the band descriptors for writing task 1, and then you will see that right in lexical resource, you will see, look at it here. If you look at here, this is for band 6, right? This is for band 6. But if you want to get more than that, then what they're saying, there is some ability, not amazing ability, some ability to use less common items, less common items. But if you look at the band 6, there is nothing they call less common. You need to use less common. So when you don't use less common words, it is very difficult for you to get more than 6. You need to use some. You don't need not to use like a lot of, just some less common items. That's what I have taught you. Just 2 words, accelerated, abated, and also structure, right? So complex. Okay, next sentence about top value and lowest value. Let's go. To write the next sentence, you need to find out 3 things. Number 1, main theme of the question. Number 2, top value. Number 3, lowest value. These are the 3 things you want to find out before you start writing. So let's go and find that out. Here you can see they're talking about the main topic is energy production. That I have already told you in the introduction, right? Energy production. They're talking about energy production all the way. So this is our main topic. And which one is the top value? Coal is your top value, right? No one is more than coal. And then other is your lowest value. You're done. 3 things you need to find out, you have found out. Energy production, coal, and other. Okay, let's go and try the structure now. Do you want to use the furthermore connectives? It's a good way. In all types of, so you have written furthermore in all types of, right? Then you write the main theme of the question. Main theme of the question is energy production. You write energy production. Done. And then write the name of the highest peak. Write the name of the highest value. The name of the highest value is coal. Okay. All right. After that, you can just memorize from here to here. I'm going to tell you why you need to do that, or why you should do that sometimes. Was the top whereas the bottommost was occupied by. Was the top whereas the bottommost was occupied by. Then write the name of the lowest peak. The lowest peak name is other. So see, these are the 3 things you just need to put, and then you write it. So furthermore, in all types of energy production, coal was the top, whereas the bottommost was occupied by other. Actually, yeah, that is true. If you go to the all types of energy production, coal really was the top, and the bottommost, the lowest one, was other. Why I am suggesting this sentence? There is a reason. You started with the connectives. That's a good way to start. Then you use degree. Superlative degree was the top. Superlative degree, right? Then you use whereas, complex, right? Complex. And you also use some kind of good sentences. Bottommost, top, furthermore, occupied, right? Very good words. Less common words, right? So your scoring getting capability will going to rise. All right. You want to implement this here? You can really do that, right? Furthermore, in all types of, so see, let's do that. Furthermore, see, furthermore, in all types of, we are talking about the spending. Furthermore, in all types of spending, see, furthermore, in all types of spending. Teacher salaries in 1991, teacher salaries was the top, whereas the bottommost was occupied by students. You try it out in other graph too, right? Okay, all right, done. Intro overall done. Okay dokie. All right, let's go and try out the body paragraphs now. Before we move to the body paragraph, I want you to try out one more intro and overall. Let's say if you use the intro here, the pie chart. So how many pie charts are there? 4, right? So you can say the 4 pie charts illustrates the electricity. They have said generated. So we use the word generated there. So you can use produced, right? Electricity produced in how many countries? 2 particular countries, right? 2 individual countries called nations, 2 individual nations called Germany and France, from all sources and reliable. So you cannot change that in the year. So instead of writing in the year, write in a specific year, in a particular year, 2009. Then overall, increase, decrease, just see that what kind of things increase, what kind of things didn't really increase, right? So write the increase, decrease, and the top value. Talk about the top value. Maybe the top value is this one, 80.5. Is there anyone? No, this is the best one, right? Hydroelectric, 80.5, and the list. Maybe list is I don't know. Solar and growth, maybe wind. Just find out. Maybe geothermal. No, geothermal is the lowest one, right? Just write that. Okay, increase, decrease, and top value, lowest value. All right. Okay, now let's go to the body for this one. Before you start writing the body paragraph, I want you to have a plan. Okay, because see, if you go for computer based exam, it is easier for you, but if you go for a paper based exam, it will be very difficult for you to change anything you have written there, right? You don't want to like erase and then write again, right? You don't have that time. So I really want you to have a plan, a proper plan, what you will gonna write in your body 1, then what you will gonna write in your body 2. You should have body 1 and body 2, but sometimes you can also add a body 3, but I don't really recommend that, because body 1 and body 2, if you write it 4-5 sentences, that will be enough, right? 150 words, because intro and overall will nearly cover 60 to 70 words. Then how many words do you really have to write in 2 bodies? Maybe 100, maybe even less than that. You don't want to write like 150 again, right? Just 100 words there. And a good sentence should carry 15 to 20 words. 15 to 20 words, you really don't need more than 7 to 8 sentences. I mean, in around 7 sentences are really good for 2 bodies, right? 1 body 4 sentences, another body 3 sentences. Nice, cool. Okay, just plan for 4 sentences and 3 sentences. Okay, so you need 7 comparison. Okay, 7 comparison. If you don't find 7 comparison, try to look at here, very important. If you don't find 7 comparison, and then try to maybe do the comparison for 4 to 5 and then 1 to 2 mentions. Let me give you in the right way. The first thing you really want to do, that describe your key features. Super important. You want to do describe your key features. First step, what is your key feature here? Maybe this one is your key feature, right? This one is your key feature, right? This one is your key feature. These are your key features. So you have to describe your key features properly. That's very important. So different kind of graphs will have different key features. Like here, which one is your key feature? Your key feature is coal, your key feature is other, right? These are your key feature. You want to describe those key feature properly. All right, okay. The first thing, maybe 1 to 2 sentences, maybe 2 sentences should be talking about your key features. Okay, maybe describe your key features. All right, maybe top value and the lowest value, these are the things you want to describe more. All right, that 1 or 2 sentences, you are done. Then you have like need to write 5 to 6 sentences more. Then plan it, how you will do it. First step, maybe for this graph, you want to talk about this and how you compare it. Ultimately, you need to do the comparison. You can do the comparison in various way. First, say here you can do the comparison from this one, all types with the renewables. You can do the comparison with this graph and this graph with this graph. You can do the comparison in various way. Like here, the same thing. First, say you can say coal and gas was nearly the similar. They are similar, right? A very few differences. So that is the one comparison you can make. 1 sentence, done. Okay, then you want to do the comparison maybe with the, again here, coal with the this coal, right? This gas with the this gas, right? Coal and gas didn't really change a lot, right? This changed nearly the same, almost 1%, just 1%, nearly 1%. 29.80 to 30.93, nearly 1. 29.63 to 30.3, or nearly 1. Done your 2 sentences, because it's very important to describe, illustrate your key features. See why I'm telling you that, like there are a lot of features out there, right? But you want to talk more about your key features. Why? Let me tell you, let me show you. From the band descriptors, if you look at band 8, what they're saying, they want you to key features select, and so you selected your key feature and then you present those key feature or highlighted those key feature in your overall. But they want more, they're greedy, they want more, they want you to illustrate those key features. You must illustrate your key features properly. Okay, so that's what they want. So maybe you want to illustrate your key feature properly, right? So important. Done. 1 to 2 sentence, you are done. Then you plan for more comparison. If you have a less info, like in this graph, you don't really have a lot of information, so you need to, sometimes you just need to mention your info, and some other time if you have a lot of information like this one, you can just do the comparison. See how many data do you really have. You have really a lot of data out there, right? They're talking about 2 different countries for 2 different things, and there are 3 stuffs here, 3, 4, 5 stuffs here. So you have like 8 features already, and then again like 6, 7 stuff. So you have like 15 different category out there. But if you come here, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there is 5. So you have like 10. You don't really have a lot of features out there. So you need to like plan properly how you can do it. Like if you have numerous amount of features, it's become easier for you. But if you have a little bit of features, then it become a little bit difficult for you. So how can you do that? First, you talk about the key features, right? Gas was this, coal was this, right? And they didn't really change a lot in 2005, which was nearly 1%, right? Which was nearly 1%, right? Then you mention it. You are done. You're nearly done with the gas, coal, right? Your 2 sentences are done. Then you need to write like 5 sentences more with 1 2 3 1 2 3, just with the 6 options you have. So don't go too far. Don't think about the 5 sentences. Just plan for maybe 3 sentences first, then think about 2 more sentences. So first, let's talk about the other. This is another key features, right? So you first talk about like other is really increased double, right? Nearly double. So it was 5, nearly 5, and then it increased to the 10. So nearly double, right? So you can also don't want to compare all the time in the same way. You also want to compare in the different way. So you can say the category other increased nearly a double. That was 4.9 in 1995, and it reached to the 9, more than 9. Don't just use the 9.10 always, more than 9 in 2005. Done with another sentence, right? So you needed to write 5, so -1. Now you have 4 sentences. Now you need to write 4. Okay, all right, then write another sentence. Let's talk about petrol. So petrol, so you want to use the connectives now on the contrary, right? On the contrary, because till now you were talking about just increasing. Right now you're going to talk about the decreasing. So you must use this kind of connectives. On the contrary, on the other hand, right? However, these are the connectives you want to use. What you can use, like petrol is the only energy that decreased enormously in 2005. It was 29.27, became 19.55, 10% in around 10% decrease, right? Acquire a 10% of about a 10% of decrease for the time period. Done. Okay, so you had 4 sentences. Now you have written another sentence with the petrol. Now you need to write 3 more sentences. All right, 3 more sentences. And till now you didn't talk about the nuclear. Okay, so you might want to talk about nuclear a little bit. You said nuclear is another category. Nuclear is another energy source that also increase by 4%, or by 4% nearly, or approximately 4%, from 6.4 to 10.10 or 10. All right, done. So you nearly talk about now everything, but you still need to talk about, like, need to say 2 more sentences. What you can say. Okay, now let's talk about that. That's interesting, because you don't really want your writing to be boring, right? You don't want that, because a lot of people will just going to say, oh, coal in 1995 coal was this, and 2005 it this, and then this, then this. You don't just want to mention the things. You want to compare, right? You want to write something visible, something different. Okay, so you need to look at the graph in a different way. If you look at this graph, what can you really see? The one thing I can really see, coal, gas, petrol are really acquiring a lot rather than other and nuclear. Even here they increase, but still coal, gas and petrol acquire a lot. If you look at here, gas, coal and petrol acquire nearly like 90%, right? And here gas, coal and petrol acquire nearly 80%. Now we can really create a sentence like gas, coal and petrol together. Gas, coal and petrol together acquire more than 80% of total energy production for both years. More than 80% for both years. Correct? That is one way of looking into the graph when you have a little bit problem with the information. There is not a lot of information, but you still don't want to write some ordinary writing like 6-5, right? You want to write something different, something good. So that is another thing, another comparison you can really put. But still we need to write 1 more sentences, right? Still 1 more sentence. What can we write now then? So for the last sentence, you can really look into it in 3 different ways. One way you can talk about the range. Look at it, the range. What kind of range you can talk about? Like if you look at this only 1995, one thing I really can notice, all three, like coal, gas and petrol, they're nearly very same, 29, 29 and 29, very same, very similar. So you can just add that sentence, right? In 1995, right, they're very similar. Okay, they're all in around 20. That is one sentence you can write. Number one. Number two, you can also look at in another way. Then you want to, like, this sentence looks very simple, you want to change that, right? Then you can add although petrol decreased by 10%, but you don't want to write that because you have written that already, right? So I don't want you to make your writing boring. Then what you can really do, then look into a different way. Then you can say, okay, all right, coal, gas, petrol was nearly the same in 1995, all and gas, coal, right? Gas and coal maintain the similar portion of increasing rate, although, even if, however, petrol decreased enormously. Done. Amazing. Done. Your writing task 1 is done, body 1, body 2. So what I really want you to do, because overall is very important, so write the intro in the right way, then overall, then before you writing the body, plan your 7 sentences, like how I am going to write my 7 sentences, how I am going to compare. Don't just mention, try to compare in a various way, try to compare in different way. One more thing I really want you to do, so I don't want to put you, because I didn't really write it in the first hand, and then just because I want it to come through my mind in the natural way, so I'm going to just write it, whatever I have said in the classes, just write it down, maybe type it down and put it in the comment box. All right, hopefully it will gonna help you for your pie chart. Till the next one, goodbye.